Welcome to Onslow County Today. I'm your host, Lisa Whitman-Grice, and on this edition of Onslow County Today, we have lots of great information and fun activities. We'll be speaking with Becky Pollard, Onslow County Register of Deeds, about their preservation project. We'll speak with Ivy Reed and her special guest, Ronnie Bowman, about 4-H and a celebration of 4-H Week. We'll also be visiting with Anna Stanley and Jason McCrae from Onslow County Park and Rec. And finally, we'll be talking with Peggy Garner from Onslow County Cooperative Extension because it's fair time. Thank you as always for joining us for Onslow County Today. Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Becky Pollard, Onslow County Register of Deeds. Ms. Pollard, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You know, you have brought one of my favorite things to our set today, and these are some document books that you have at your office at the Register of Deeds that range from everything from land grants, deeds, really from the start of our life to the end of our life and everything in between. Your office documents.
Yes, that's true.
And part of the challenge that you have realized is that these documents need to be forever, but their conditions haven't always been such. And so you've made some real serious changes to the way the documents are preserved. Tell us a little bit first about when this preservation project for Onslow County documents began.
Well, we were checking through our deed vault and we noticed that, as you can see with this book here, some of the pages in the book, the older real estate, began to turn up on the edges. And then as we looked at them even closer, some of the writing in between on the pages, it actually begins to fade, like it's disappearing. Back in the 1930s through 1970, they used a process where they would laminate the pages, thinking they were preserving them for years to come, when actually it was causing them to deteriorate.
You know, many of us, and we find this in the museum world as well, we thought, oh, lamination, this will save it forever. But in fact, what it does is that plastic actually melts into the paper, and so it causes that paper to actually break down. As you, I'm sure, have discovered, it's probably gotten brittle on you.
It has.
The color has changed. And so you have there in your hand 18th century documents from the 1700s.
Yes, that is correct. And the plastic that was used years ago would actually cause it to crack and break, and then it would get like a sticky residue on it and almost oily and have a vinegar or a ammonia smell. And this can actually deteriorate other things around. You know, so you want to take care, and now in today's time, what they've done is actually reverse the process in a very controlled climate, and they take the plastic out of it, and as you can see in this book, they restore it. The words to the pages, I like to use the expression, they come back to life. Because as you can see, this is so much clearer, and they're placed in polyester sleeves that have been approved by archives. This book will last over hundreds of years to come.
That is phenomenal.
It's very important that we, you know, keep our history.
This is a phenomenal process that, one, it can be reversed.
Yes.
And two, that it looks so much more beautiful. And then, as you say, not only preserved, because you've certainly digitized these. These are all available,
yes, they are.
digitized. But there's something about seeing that original document that connects you even more so.
Yes, it's very exciting to see how they used to write. And of course, no heat was ever used in this preservation method, and that's what is going to, cause it to last forever. And being in these sleeves, you can see how flat it lays in the book.
Oh, beautiful.
So when we move to our new building, we're going to actually have a deed vault with a controlled climate, and we're going to put all these records in there because these are online, but some people still like to come and look back. They like to see how it used to be, how things were done, and so these are going to be in a controlled climate where people can look at them, and because they're in these sleeves, they'll never damage the document.
That is phenomenal. As we have talked about in the past, the job of Register of Deeds is one of the oldest in Onslow County government. I mean, we're coming up on our 150th birthday. There has been a register for 150 years.
Yes.
Maintaining these documents and caring for them. So the trust that you have of the community. You also, and you mentioned, you will be moving into the new courthouse facility that's being constructed.
Yes.
And I know you must be excited.
We are.
About that, about the potential. And finally, your ability to serve the public and for them to see this. Talk a little bit about your staff and how they've responded to these big changes.
Well, my staff, honestly, we work as a group and everybody helps each other. I have one girl that has worked with all the old maps, and she's just come up with a new idea to consolidate some of the old, and I hate to use the word gunky, but they kind of get gunky. So we're putting those in new map cabinets, and they hang like freely, and we can put a lot more in, so we're not going to have to buy plat cabinets for a while because we're consolidating. That was her idea, which is good. And then I have others that are working on old marriages. These used to be folded and kept in a file cabinet.
Right.
And you can imagine over the years how the corners will tear, they'll crack, they fade. So we're having those preserved in the same manner.
That's amazing.
In sleeves where people can flip through and see them, and they're not going to damage the documents. We don't have to worry about that. It's very important to preserve our old records.
Well, here you are, one of the oldest professional members of the Onslow County management, Onslow County government positions. You're maintaining records that are 200 years old.
Yes.
And you're using the most modern and innovative methods. So really, this is where the historic meets the future.
Yes.
It's what you're doing.
Yes.
This is amazing. Ms. Pollard, for people who do want to use your facilities, who want to see these documents, whether they are searching deeds and titles, or as you and I both see, genealogy is just one of the biggest tourism and draws that we have here in Onslow County, people coming to search their story. How do they make arrangements to come look and view these documents? Do they need to call and make an appointment?
No. We are an open office. We are office for the people. Our deed vault is open. We're there 8 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. During lunch, a lot of people ask me that question. During lunch, are you closed? No, we're not. We rotate lunches, so there's always someone there to help you. We'll point you in the right direction, and we invite anyone and everyone to come see the projects we're doing, come and look at the materials themselves. Excellent.
And we remind people that obviously the courthouse is located on Old Bridge Street. Old Bridge Street at the intersection there of Old Bridge and Ann and Court Street. So in that very heart of historic downtown Jacksonville. And also, when they do need to enter the courthouse, they do need to be reminded that there is a security that they need to go through.
There is at this time,
okay.
But I understand when we move into our new office, when the new building's ready, they can come right into the Register of Deeds office from the street, no security. They don't have to worry about that.
So, but currently, because we're housed
In
within that same facility, they needed to be reminded of proper attire and the security mindfulness there. Well, Mrs. Pollard, this has been a joy to talk with you about your new project. I can see you're excited about it.
I am very.
And I'm excited to get down to your office and see what we can find out.
All right. Thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be able to share this today.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now are some new faces to Onslow County Today. We have Ivy Reed with Onslow County Cooperative Extension, their 4-H program.
Yes.
And Ivy, you have brought a guest. Please introduce your guest to us.
I have with me today Mr. Ronnie Bowman, who is one of our 4-H'ers in Onslow County.
Excellent. Ronnie, I have something to tell you. I was a 4-H'er. My kids were 4-H'ers. So 4-H is something that I love, that is near and dear to me. And we want to talk about 4-H, what Miss Ivy and Mr. John are doing with 4-H. And we want to talk to you about your 4-H experience. Is that okay today? All right, so first things first. Miss Ivy, I know that you retired from Extension, but they've brought you back in. Talk a little bit about you coming back to Onslow County 4-H and sort of what your kind of vision is as you work with Cooperative Extension and John Osborne and the team there at Extension.
Well, I was thinking whenever you said that I was the new face, I'm thinking I'm the recycled face. I actually grew up in Onslow County. I was a 4-H'er here growing up. I was before Greg, but we won't go there.
Yes. We were busy bees.
Yes, we were. We were busy bees. Yes, we were. But when circumstances arose in Onslow County and the 4-H agent had to step aside for a little while, I just kind of felt like it would be a good thing to come back and give back to a program that had really given a lot to me. Because that's basically how I chose my career path. I went from being in 4-H, volunteering with Cooperative Extension as a young adult, and then straight into Cooperative Extension. I was a 4-H agent, then I was an FCS agent, and then I became a county extension director. So I've kind of done all facets, and I just thought it would be a good time. And the staff here, I was very familiar with them.
Right.
John has been wonderful because he's kind of been the constant in 4-H here.
Right.
And so he's been really good to work with and a good guidance into what has been done, and he's got some good ideas of some different things to do to kind of head in another direction. And since our year, we kind of, summer is kind of summer activities, but we start back in September after the kids get back in school. So this is kind of our building for the rest of the year.
Excellent. Now, Ronnie, we were talking a little bit before we were on camera here about how long you've been a 4-H'er. How long have you been in 4-H?
About 8 years.
8 years. So most of your life you have been a 4-H'er. What about 4-H is it that makes it what you want to do? I mean, you could be anything, you know, you're 12, you could be doing all kinds of stuff. What is it that makes 4-H your thing?
Well, we get to do a lot of hands-on stuff.
Right. So like what? What is hands-on that's fun for you?
Like we could make something that could help when we have a drought.
Okay.
Or like if we have, or if it's too rainy outside to do anything and you want to grow something like that.
Okay, so one thing that you really work in is like horticulture, so you do plantings. I saw you do something this summer with hydroponics, as a matter of fact, which was really cool. Can you tell our audience what you and Mr. John did this summer with hydroponics? First, what is hydroponics? Because that's a big word.
Hydroponics is making plants while just using water, no dirt, just water.
So no soil.
No soil.
Because we got to think like Miss Diana Rashash would say, right? Dr. Rashash would say, we don't say dirt, we say soil, right? So no soil, so we're growing it in water and kind of like a spongy thing I saw.
Yep.
And then you just put the seeds right in that. So that helps with things like maybe erosion.
Yep.
Okay. So you learn to grow hydroponics. What else did you do this summer? Because you were telling me a little bit about where you got to go.
Well, the Columbia Eastern 4-H Center.
Okay.
We did a lot of fun stuff like rock wall and canoeing and archery.
That is, everybody should get to go to summer camp.
Yeah.
Even grown-ups should get to go to summer camp. So you're going to be one of those kids now, as Miss Ivy and Mr. John really are making 4-H bigger and kind of regrowing 4-H, right?
Yeah.
So if they're regrowing 4-H and they're going to have some big meetings and things, what would be the number one thing you think kids should know about 4-H if they wanted to join in?
Well, 4-H is teamwork, groups. You have to learn to work well with others.
Okay. So, and that's a great place to do it, right?
Yeah.
So, Miss Ivy, you are going to have a big meeting coming up. Tell us about that meeting on the 26th of September.
26th of September, we're going to have an interest meeting for volunteers and parents. As much as John and I are very energetic and we would love to do everything for everybody, we cannot operate without volunteers.
All right.
So we really need volunteers to come in and serve in all different capacities. We need club volunteers. We need volunteers that come in to work with project areas, resource persons, all kinds of things. If there's somebody out there interested in working with youth and wanting to make a positive influence, we can find a role for you in 4-H.
Okay.
So that meeting is for that purpose,
All right.
to kind of garner and figure out, where everybody is, what their interests are, and kind of get everybody routed into the direction in which we can make a really big impact with 4-H in Onslow County.
So on the September the 26th, what time is that meeting?
That meeting starts at 6.
Okay.
We are providing activities for children whose parents cannot do not have child care in the evening. They can bring them with them. We're going to have dinner that
Oh, wow.
evening, and we're going to have a session for the adults and then a separate session for the youth. And actually, they're going to paint rocks for Onslow Rocks.
That's awesome. So, when I was growing up, and I loved it because, 4-H was a lot about, it was very much connected to our rural and agricultural heritage. So, farming and canning and cooking. But 4-H has also kind of gone in some new directions.
Yes.
And our 4-H does a lot of really cool stuff with robotics. Ronnie, are you involved with the robotics team yet?
No.
Not quite yet. You're not quite old enough. But, Miss Ivy, what are we starting to look at in terms of robotics? What are some of the things?
Well, one of our kind of sort of neighboring counties has been able to get some Lego robotics kits from North Carolina A&C State University in
Okay.
Greensboro.
All right.
And they have gotten those during National 4-H Week, which is October the 1st to the 7th. And John has worked with them to get those kits to come to Onslow. So on October the 14th, which is a Saturday,
Right.
from 9 until 3, we will have a Legos robotics session.
Oh, that is cool.
Right at the extension office right down the street. So John is working on all those arrangements, but if you're interested in that, I think that would be a wonderful opportunity to do some additional robotics work, or just figure out how it all works and what the whole system is capable of doing.
Robotics are something, a long time ago we used to think, robots, what can a robot do? And now we see that they can do everything from basic tasks in a factory to surgery. So this robotics team will introduce students to that. And then, of course, we're going to come back together just before the holiday season, and you all are going to come back and visit us and tell us about your partnership with Elder Chair and Onslow County's Department of Social Services.
And we've got a holiday workshop coming up for baking and crafts in December. So we've got all kinds of things that we've got going on, and we want to come back often and let folks know.
Well, fantastic. Now, Ronnie, being a 4-H'er for the last 8 years, what do you think about where you might go? What do you think? Have you decided what you might be when you finish school or go off to college? Have you started giving some thought to that?
I really want to be a mechanical engineer.
A mechanical engineer connected to 4-H. You must want to go to college. Where?
North Carolina State University.
North Carolina State University. Absolutely, absolutely. So the whole idea is always learning in 4-H, and it continues on into adulthood. I don't want to put you on the spot, but as we close out our time together and want people to know more about 4-H, can you tell me the 4 principles of 4-H? What are you pledging as a 4-H'er?
Our head for clear thinking, our hands, our heart, and our health.
Our head, our heart, our hands, and our health. Well, I think that that's a perfect way to end. Miss Ivy, for folks who do want to know more about being a 4-H'er, who want to pledge those 4-H's to the community, can you tell us how to reach you? What's your best telephone number?
910-455-5873. I'm still learning the phone number. I hope that's right.
That is exactly right. We are glad, of course, you can always go to your website, check out more.
We have a Facebook page. Yes.
And a very active Facebook page with all kinds of cool stuff. So 26th of September to learn more about 4-H.
Absolutely.
Then 14th, robotics. And then we'll come back for the holidays and talk about elder cheer. So much going on. Ronnie Bowman, thank you for taking some time and coming to share with us about 4-H and your experience. And Miss Ivy, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll see you next time.
Okay, good deal.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now are our friends from Onslow County Park and Recreation. We have Anna Stanley. Anna, we're so happy to have you back to Onslow County Today. And we have a new face. We have Jason McCrae who is joining us. Jason, welcome to Onslow County. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, you all never stop at Onslow County Park and Recreation. I have never seen such a busy place. Season after season, you have something going on. And so, Anna, we're going to start with you, with your recreation activities that you have got planned for the fall. I don't even know how you've done this because your summer must have exhausted you.
It did, but that's what we do.
That's what you do. So you picked up, it's time for the fall. What have you got going on?
So we've got lots of activities coming up for this month. We have some, of course, family activities. We have fitness programs. So first we've got Zumba in the park.
Cool.
Yeah, so you can come out on a Saturday morning. That is September 9th and 23rd.
Okay.
So, and if it's rain, we have an alternate location and we can come inside. So don't let the rain scare you away.
All right. So Zumba in the park. So be out communing with nature. Listen to your Shakira.
Yes.
And then Zumba away.
That's right.
Okay.
Just dance those pounds away.
All right, all right. And then what else have you got going on?
Oh, we have tails, scales, and more.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's really a fun program. So Eastern Exotics, they are partnering with us and they are providing some programs. So they're going to come in, they'll teach you about, they'll bring all of their exotic animals. They have snakes, turtles, all kinds of other neat and surprising. I don't want to give it all away.
Sure, sure.
So that is September 19th from 6 to 8, and that will be at Onslow Pines Park in the classroom.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. And then the exciting one, our family event that we have coming up is our Park After Dark Family Camp Out.
Okay, so tell me about what Park After Dark really is all about.
All right, so you bring your tents, your sleeping bags, and we are going to stay the night in Onslow Pines Park.
Oh,
so we've
beautiful.
got lots of fun activities planned. It starts at 6 o'clock in the evening on September 29th. So we'll do dinner, we'll do activities, we'll have a movie, and of course you can't forget s'mores.
So you all provide the s'mores, or do we need to bring our own marshmallows?
Nope. We provide the s'mores as well. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Now, those programs, are there fees associated with them?
Some are free, some cost. When they do charge, the fee is very low.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so you can find that information out with our flyers on Facebook or through our website.
All right, so we're going to Zumba, we're going to watch movies in the park, we're going to camp out in the park. It's a busy September.
Yes.
And then you have a special movie night too?
Yes, and actually that will be the same night on September 29th.
Okay.
So for those who can't make they don't want to spend the entire evening in the park and camp out, but you can still come see a movie.
All right, and what's that movie you're featuring?
Captain Underpants.
Captain Underpants, everybody's favorite hero.
Yeah.
All right, so busy, busy, busy. Check out your awesome Facebook page, your website, or just call your main office and
Yes.
find out how to register or attend any of those programs.
Yes.
All right, scales, tails, and more, but you can't tell us what the more is yet.
Nope.
Okay, we got to go check it out.
It's a
to find
surprise.
out. All right, so Jason, while Anna's not doing anything, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, my gracious, how busy. You have got fall sports coming up.
Yes,
Tell us
ma'am.
about that.
Currently, we're getting ready to start accepting registration for our youth basketball program.
Okay.
Registration will basically start on September 1st and conclude October 2nd.
Okay.
Now, this is online only. We will
right.
be having some actually on-site registration dates, which will be October 7th,
Okay.
October 14th, and October 15th.
All right. So we never know when there might be another LeBron in our midst, right here in Onslow County, right?
We actually
Or
have
Steph.
some. We have some. I can feel it. I've seen some of the kids outside playing on some of our blacktops, and I see these kids are amazing. So definitely look out for them.
All right, but not even that. They don't even have to be Steph Curry. But what we do want them to be is good sports. Talk about how that's so much a part of Onslow County sports programming and athletic programming.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, well, with our programs, what we're actually trying to do is we're actually trying to teach the kids the fundamentals of the sports, and also, again, we want them to be ambassadors of good sportsmanship. We're not trying to worry about them being the next Steph Curry or the next LeBron James. If it happens, that's great, but again, our goal is to just develop them as good human beings.
Absolutely. So really the foundations of athletics and being healthy and sportsmanship and teamwork.
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Now, you don't just have basketball coming up, you've also got cheerleading coming up.
Yes, ma'am. Those two go hand in hand. Our cheerleading program will be the same dates as basketball. They will be registering at the same locations as well, which will be Trexler Middle School. It'll be at Swansboro Middle School. It will be at Dixon Middle School, as well as Hunters Creek. And we will be having another one I think I got them all.
Right.
Southwest, sorry.
At Southwest.
Yes.
So really you cover the county as well.
Correct, yes, ma'am. We do sports all the way up through Richlands, all the way down to Sneads Ferry. We do anything and everything from Hubert to Swansboro. Again, the city of Jacksonville does a lot of things. We do a lot of partnerships with them as well. But for the most part, we do everything and anything that you can think of as far as areas within Onslow County.
Now also, as Anna said, folks don't have to just memorize everything we've talked about today, but they can also go to your website.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can go to the Parks and Rec, or you can go to the county's website, and it's easily accessible for anyone and everyone that actually wants to go through any type of sports or anything that has to do with any type of recreational activities within our department.
So, recreation activities, sports activities, and if folks do want to know more, what's the main number that they can call to find out and speak to either of you or speak to your wonderful core of volunteers, people who help you all out?
Sure, it's 910-347-5332.
All right, so they can call, they can check out your Facebook, they can look at your website, and if they can catch you too, because my goodness, again, all over the place, so busy with programming, Anna, and movies and camping out and s'mores.
Of course.
And then cheerleading and basketball. You all do a phenomenal job. Thank you for what you do for our youth programming. And we look forward to having you visit with us again, finding out what you've got going on next time.
All right.
Thank you
Sounds
very
good.
much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is one of our favorite friends on Onslow County Today, Peggy Garner from Onslow County Cooperative Extension. Peggy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it is that time of year. It is fair time in Onslow County, and we know we've got about a few weeks out yet, but we want to make sure that folks are ready to bring their items to the fair for display and for judging. And so tell us first, when is the fair this year? And then what might folks bring to share with us?
Okay, thanks. The fair this year, opening day is October the 2nd, and from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on October the 2nd, individuals can bring items that they have made within the last year. They have to have been completed since the fair of last year. Which was the last week of September. So if they've completed a project, like we have baskets and we have preserves and we have craft items, if they have any of that, they can bring it. Once again, they have to live in Onslow County, and it has to have been completed since the fair of last year.
Now, you all have a whole book devoted to what people can bring, and you brought one with you.
I did.
So this fair book has all of these categories, and they really do run such a gamut. So whatever your gift is, you can bring it and share. Whatever your gift and talent is, whether it's painting or photography or needlework or crochet work. Now, if folks want to enter something, you said they must be an Onslow County resident, has to be made this year.
Right.
Is there a fee to enter anything in
There
the fair?
is no fee, and actually, if money is part of the discussion,
Absolutely.
if they win first, second, or third prize, depending on the category, it may have first and second, or it may have first, second, and third. There's usually a premium, which is a small amount of money. You're not going to take the family out to dinner with it, but it's a small amount of money for getting that first, second, or third place, as well as a ribbon.
All right.
And the books should be coming out about mid-September,
Okay.
sometime soon. And so with that in mind, some individuals will be randomly selected to have one mailed to them. Other than that, as soon as we receive them, we get them to each one of the county's public libraries. So individuals don't have to come to the county multipurpose complex to pick up a book. They will just be able to go to their local library. So if they would like to call the Onslow County Cooperative Extension Service at 910-455-5873, that's 910-455-5873, and just check to see if the books are out and about yet, then we will be able to let them know if they could go to their local library and pick one up, or to the county complex.
Fantastic, because that has all the descriptors. If they have any doubts about, oh, would I put it under this category or this category, this book is a great help. Now, the other thing that we frequently talk about at the fair, Peggy, is the fact that you really are showcasing a lot of traditional life weights, but also some modern things as well. And one of the things that you brought are some canned goods. And I know that you have a few extra special kind of guidance for people who might be bringing foodways like canned goods or baked goods to be judged. Tell us a little bit about what people should be mindful of.
Well, we have to ensure that the item is prepared properly. So what we will do is when someone brings in a canned item, and this is very important for someone that may be bringing the item in for a family member that has to work and cannot bring it in during those hours, is you need to ask them how they preserved it, how did they prepare it, because if it is not prepared properly, we will not allow the individual to enter it. In other words, if they used a water bath instead of using a pressure canner, then that's going to be an item that could possibly have botulism in it. So we are not going to allow our judges to taste anything that's going to end up in the emergency room, or even death with botulism. We want to be very careful with that. So they will have to label it as to the way that it was prepared.
Okay, so being mindful of those safety concerns, safe preparations. And finally, I entered this in the fair on the 2nd. When can I retrieve my goods?
You will go back on the 9th. And you will pick it up between 8:30 and noon. Any item that is not picked up by noon on October the 9th, it will be the individual's responsibility to get in touch with the Onslow County Fair manager to see when they can pick it up. We will make sure that it's secured up until that point, but after that point, everything is taken to the fair office.
All right. You know, this is a great way, Peggy. The Ferris wheel is awesome. The rides are awesome. Can't beat cotton candy. But this is also, when you go into the fair, this is a great way to connect with your community, because not only will you have these items that have been entered and judged, but you also have a lot of educational booths that people can walk around. Tell us a little bit about that.
We actually have 32 educational booths, and they are judged per category, and that also is in the fair book as to how those categories are divided up. And all of them have to have an educational message. So it's not marketing. It's not that there's a group that meets the first Tuesday of every month at 7 o'clock, that they're just going to have that information on it. Or maybe a church would say, we have services at these hours for youth and this, that, and the other. They have to have an educational message. And so those also are judged. And anyone that does put up an educational booth, they automatically do get premium money. So there's first, second, and third place, and then those that are fourth place and less, they all still get the same amount of money. So it's a great way for that. And I'll tell you, Lisa, we have some really, really talented individuals in Onslow County, and this is an opportunity to showcase. You'll hear people say that, well, people just aren't canning anymore. Well, at Cooperative Extension, I can tell you, we have had a really, really great summer with individuals wanting to know how to can their produce that they are growing themselves, so they're getting at the farmer's market. So that's really nice. We've seen cross stitch and wood sculptures and all that are coming in, and the greatest thing that we all love that work the fair is to see the products that are brought in by the children.
Yes.
The children really don't care about the premium that they might get. They really love the fact that they're getting a ribbon.
All right, so you can't beat one of those big, ruffly, silky, shiny ribbons. I mean,
No, you got to have it.
you got to have it.
Just
And
gotta have
again, it's all ages, all kinds of gifts and talents. Make sure you get your fair book or call your office to find out more.
Exactly.
We're looking forward to the fair. One more time, your telephone number, just for everybody who might have questions.
It's 910-455-5873. And just one thing I'd like to mention is because we've had a lot of calls on it, and that is we do not have refrigeration at the county fair. So we have individuals that would like to do cream pies and things like that. And unfortunately, we don't have a way to keep it cold, so we cannot accept those.
All right, well, that's all great information. Peggy, as always, thank you, and we'll see you at the fair.
Thank you.
As always, we want to thank you for joining us for Onslow County Today, and a special thank you to each of our guests, Becky Pollard, Anna Stanley, Jason McCrae, Ivy Reed, Ronnie Bowman, and Peggy Garner. Now, this time of year, when you live in Eastern North Carolina, your mind is always on the Atlantic. We're always watching those storms that roll in. Of course, our hearts and prayers continue to be with our friends and family in Texas, in Louisiana, certainly in Florida, and we're always mindful of the need for preparation. When you need more information, go to our website, check out Onslow County's Emergency Operations Center's page, and certainly remember to register for Alert Onslow. As always, thank you for joining us for Onslow County Today. We'll see you next time.